Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the fan channel exclusive 2-pack of the X-Force, X23, and Warpath. So here we've got it. Big Bad Toy Store got an initial shipment, so I had my pre-order last week. I got an email saying, hey, pre-order processing soon, and then I think it was the next day or the day after. In stock, and then processed my shipment, UPS priority mail. I got it today. Archangel is kind of the same story, except it didn't start moving until today, so Archangel I'll have Wednesday at the earliest, probably Thursday. But for now, we're going to take a look at this 2-pack, and I'm very excited about this. We have a Warpath figure from before, as you can see there. We have a couple of X23 figures. There's two different ones, but we did get an X-Force specific version already. This one is a nice update to it. There are some reused parts there, but there is some new stuff going on, so that is very exciting. But with that Warpath, look at that. He's got two knives, which is great. So we'll do a comparison with them, and then we'll take a look at like X-Force. All these X-Force characters and everything kind of going there and putting them all together. But this particular 2-pack, and the same with Archangel, is from a very specific comic run for X-Force, as you can see with that logo there. I don't remember which year it was. I will look that up in the next clip and have it like, oh, this was the X-Force run from, whichever year it was. So a very particular team. Not everyone was on the team at the same time to represent these specific looks and everything like that. But I am excited to take a look at it, and very excited for the Archangel to come in when it does. We got an X logo up at the top there. On the side, you can just see X23 and Warpath, and you get some artwork there. Same artwork on the side there, but looking at the back of the package, we get a better look at those two artworks there. No bio on the 2-pack, unfortunately. So there we have it. Let's go ahead and open it up, and let's take a look. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. First, I want to talk a little bit about Ensaber. So Ensaber is a lightsaber company, and they were nice enough to send out to me in Episode 3, Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. This, to me, is the ultimate lightsaber design. When I think of Star Wars and lightsabers, this is the one that comes to mind. This is the Episode 3 Anakin Skywalker. Also, from the original trilogy, this is the lightsaber that Obi-Wan Kenobi gives to Luke Skywalker. In the sequel trilogy, this is the one Rey uses. And then, of course, the prequel trilogy, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, this is the Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. It's got a great weight to it, made of metal, everything perfect, beautiful design. With the Anakin Episode 3 pixel lightsaber, you have a beautiful ignition, smooth swing. You have the blast effect. You have the lockup effect. Cool color change features. You can even do the Kylo Ren fire effect to the blade with the same sounds. Or even do the purple lightsaber like Mace Windu. Use the link in the video description below to pick up your own Ensaber's lightsaber. Okay, so here we have X23 and Warpath out of the package, and pretty good stuff. So Warpath is essentially a repaint of the previous X-Force Warpath that we got in the red and blue, and then X23 is kind of a repaint, although we got new legs and new arms. Anything the same? Hands are probably the same. That's not a big deal. The upper torso is the same, or the whole torso, actually, for that matter, is the whole same. But still good upgrade to X23 for sure. And then Warpath is awesome. Warpath is old, so yes, we got the issue of he's got pins at the knees, he's got pins at the elbows. Is it real gummy? No, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of wobbliness to the knees. It's not that big of a deal. The arms, yes, they're pins. Pins are ugly, but they're the same color, so that is good. However, on the legs, there are gray pins in there in the black, but they're recessed in, so you can't really see them as much. But the fact that they are there, so just a heads up on that. So while we don't get a full new Warpath, I think it does the job. And I again, pinless is better, but I don't mind that it has pins because the colors match well enough. But there we go. So these look pretty good. We'll take them one at a time. So we'll go over X23 first, and we'll go over Warpath, and then we'll look at the articulation, put the X-Force team together, and close out the review. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Laura Kinney X23 in the 2008 X-Force run, which was specifically on the team was Wolverine, Archangel, Warpath, X23, and Wolfsbane, which we do not have a figure of Wolfsbane, and we do not have, I would say, the Domino from that particular era of X-Force. Maybe a future 2-pack We shall see, because I think it'd be odd if we don't get that particular version of Wolfsbane. But here we have X23. So this is a new head sculpt. So this one's kind of a screaming one, and she does have the mask. The previous one that we got is there. Not that that one was bad. The head is kind of big for the body. So I think here we get a more proportionately sized head for Laura X23, which I think is good. So we got that there. Not too shabby there. And she does have two head sculpts. This one is kind of flowing in the wind there. And then we get this one. This is an unmasked, so she does not have the mask that's covering her eyes. So you can see there. And she's still a little pissed off. She's still a little angry there. But she doesn't have the screaming head. And that looks good as well. I did not... Shoot, did I? No, I did not. We have an unmasked X23 Wolverine head sculpt. I didn't bring that one out, but at least brought out the Wolverine because I want to see... I guess we'll just do that now. Like, does this head fit on the Wolverine? Should. Same upper torso. It does, but it looks kind of big. That's kind of weird. I don't know if it works, but if it's on there, so that works if that's something that you want to do. And then, of course, if you have... I don't know... Well, I don't know why you want to do this, but, you know, obviously, of course, this will work. Skin tones don't match, though. But I think probably want to see is this old head sculpt, will it fit on the new body? And that should not be an issue, but skin tone is not going to match. Focus, focus, focus. There it goes. But that works, I think. Yeah, I mean, skin tone isn't going to match, but I think it's close enough that you could probably fudge it. And that looks good. So if you wanted to get this head sculpt, you could do that where it's not completely crazy, where she's like screaming, mouth open and everything like that. That works. The difference is she's got a little bit of gray there in the mask, whereas the new one does not have the gray in the mask. But it works if that's what you wanted to do. But let's go ahead and throw that off. And let's get the screaming head sculpt on there because it's got the mask on there. Ooh, I got a paint issue on mine. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. Look at that big old paint spot right there on the side. Oh, that sucks. QC, QC, QC. So that sucks. So that's probably not something that you're going to find on yours. I mean, QC issues are going to happen, but, you know, not that big of a deal, but that does suck. But looking at it, looks good. You can see the gray on the shoulder there. We get new arms. So we are a double jointed pinless elbow, and we have the bicep swivel, whereas the previous one, single jointed elbow and only had a swivel at that elbow. So much better. And you can see how crazy the hinge was on that shoulder. So nothing nearly as bad. We get the same belt that we had before. As you can see there, it's just painted a little bit differently, a little silver X instead of a black X there. And then paint wise, we get a much darker gray, and we are pinless, and we do get newly sculpted boots. And then this time around, we do get the toe claws, where we did not get those prior to on the X-Force figure, but the Wolverine figure did. And I lost one. Here it is. That's what I hate about these. These didn't stay on real well, and they would come off and go missing, so you got to be careful. So far, so good on the X-Force ones. They don't seem to be falling off or anything like that. But new boots there. New feet, they're a little bit larger and then have the claws, so that is really good. But as you can see, like the hands, basically the same there with the two claws going there. But again, same torso, body, same upper torso, so you just get new legs and new arms and new head sculpt. So good upgrade to X23 Laura Kinney. And I forgot her accessories. She comes with an extra set, a couple of extra sets of hands. So in addition to the unmasked head sculpt, she's got an extra pair of fists, as you can see there, fists. And then she has open hands here. And these look pretty good. These are pretty detailed hands. I always waste time going over stuff like this that probably nobody really cares about. But look at the details in the hands. You actually got clear wrinkles on the inside of the palm, and then you got the wrinkles where at the knuckles where you can see where the fingers bend. Is it a big deal? Should I spend so much time on there? No, but it's the little details that I like in there. And those are the extra hands and accessories that we got with Laura. So now let's go ahead and jump over to Warpath. Silly me. I said this was basically a repaint, and that's not actually true. That's not accurate. Here we have, I want to say this was the Venom body. This is probably the body that Venom used, the Walmart exclusive retro carded Venom, because we got the diaphragm cut and the inverted ab along with the butterfly joints, whereas the previous Warpath figure had the butterfly joints, but also only had the ab crunch. So completely new torso, but we do get reused legs and reused arms on this guy. And again, it's a debate. Like, pinless is always going to be better. I want to be very clear on that, because people will call me a shill for allowing pins. And I get it, right? Like if Hasbro's always going to go the cheap route. I think we need to understand that already. Like people keep getting mad at this. Hasbro's always going to do that. They should make obviously new sculpts every time, right? Ideally, perfect world, that's what's going to happen. But Hasbro's also going to go the cheapest route they possibly can on a lot of these things. So that includes reusing arms and legs that have pins. Now, again, color match doesn't bother me. Is it the best? No, but again, it is what it is. Not the end of the world. I don't hate it. When the pins don't match color, that's when it kind of sucks. Here, it's not as bad as it's a fairly dark gray and they're recessed in, so you don't really see them as much, but it does suck. Would I have preferred pinless? Absolutely. Let's be clear on that. But is it the end of the world? No, it's not. But anyway, here we look at the Warpath figure. This is a different head sculpt, so it's not the same head sculpt that we had gotten previously on this Warpath. As you can see, the mask itself covering his eyes are different there. Obviously, it is a different belt as well, so you got the X logo there with the black, but the new one here, it's funny. I guess it's just a little bit of a difference. So Laura has a silver X, but Warpath has the black X, but the old X23 had the black X. So that's kind of interesting. But looking at it there, it looks pretty good. You got the boots in there. You got the black and gray, so you gray along the sides of his legs. And then you get a little bit of gray going back and everything like that. And then he's got the sheath there on his back. So you got some pouches with some silver buttons in there. And then you got the two knives. Whoops, popped his hands out. I guess I'll talk about the accessories. So he comes with an extra set of hands. So you got fists out of the package for him, and then you got the grip hands that he comes with so he can hold his knives. And he's got two of them. And there we go there, and these look pretty good. I don't know if these are reused sculpts of these knives. We've gotten them before. The previous Warpath, I don't believe, came with the knives, which is pretty crazy. But these look pretty good. It's a dull gray. It's not the cheap ass looking terrible like gray like X23's claws. As you can see there, this is the cheap gray on the claws, but these knives are a decent gray. But a silver would have been better. I would have preferred a nice silver color instead of just this flat gray. But again, it is better than a lot of what Hasbro gives us, but still should have been better. And I just lost one knife. So we can sheath these in there. So you can put one on one side, and then let me find the other one, found it. And then you could sheath that, bam, on the other side. So you could do that, and each one fits in there. So then he could grab them like so, there. So that is pretty cool. So Warpath looks pretty good. I love the black and gray, the X-Force look. So there we go. Now the pins also, I want to circle back to this. There is some gumminess in the knee. It is not terrible. There's no wobbliness or anything like that. So, have no fear doing that. But, pinless would have been better. They would have been definitely more sturdy. But there we go. So now let's go ahead and get on over into the articulation for both of these figures. Okay, so X23 looks tiny on screen compared to Warpath, but I got to be able to fit Warpath in frame, and this is how we're going to do it. So let's go ahead and go over the articulation. We're going to start with X23. So her long hair is obviously going to stop her from being able to look up, but she can look down, as you can see there. You could get some swivel in there. You just kind of have to work the hair around the shoulder, not big deal there, and not a whole lot of pivot, just a tiny little bit. You can get the arm to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed, pinless elbow gives you that much bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all three pairs of hands for X23. She's got the diaphragm cut on there, so she gets very, very little tilt to her left. As you can see there, it's very, very little. She gets very, 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 very little tilt to her right. She gets very, very little movement going back, and then she gets like little to none coming forward, so it's just not great. You get a swivel at that diaphragm at least, but yeah, there's just not a whole lot of movement in there, and I popped her head off. That was weird. Legs go out that far apart. Don't be alarmed if you pop a leg off, because these legs can come off quite easily, as you can see there. That's not the first time that I did that. That's how I know. But you can get the legs to go out that far apart. She can kick forward that far, so that is pretty good there. The leg doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there, which is nice. You do get a boot swivel in there. Foot hinges all the way down. You get a little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So that is the articulation for X23. So definite upgrade to the previous one because we get the bicep swivel, the double jointed elbows, and then other than that, it's basically the same articulation. Although the old one did not have boot. Yeah, it did. The other one had. So the only big difference is bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Other than that, articulation is essentially the exact same, but fully pinless now, which is good. Warpath, a little bit different. He's got some semi-long hair, so he's also not going to be able to look up, but he can look down a little bit there. The head is on a dumbbell joint, as you can see there. So there's not a huge amount of movement, so you can get some pivot going on there, which is good, and then full rotation, of course. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so, full rotation in there. You get that butterfly joint that allows that arm to go back pretty far, as you can see there, and then coming forward, let's see how much crossbody. You can get that much crossbody going there, which is decent. You got the upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed pinned elbow. There, so that's a good range there. You get a wrist swivel and standard hinge on the grip hands as well as the fists. One thing that I would like to point out is these pegs are very small and very short, and I feel like they are not long enough for what we would like for these hands to be, because they come off a little too easily, if you ask me. So I think that's unfortunate. We get the diaphragm cut and the inverted ab crunch, so you can get Warpath to tilt to his left that much there. You can get him to tilt to his right that much there. Leaning back without the ab is only a little bit. Coming forward without the ab is only a little bit. But with the ab, the inverted ab crunch, you can crunch forward that much there, which is pretty good. And then going back, you get a little bit going back there, so not too shabby. You get a swivel at that upper diaphragm in there. Legs go out that far apart, not a whole lot. He can kick forward that far, so that is good forward motion on the leg. Goes back a little bit. You got stiff upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinned knee there, that much. And then you get a boot swivel in there. Foot hinges down quite a ways. You get tiny hinge up. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there we go. The new ab crunch, new torso is much better with the diaphragm and the inverted ab crunch. So it just looks a little bit better, allows for a little bit more swivel and twist. And overall, a good upgrade from the previous Thunderbird figure that we have. Warpath, excuse me, I'm going for his brother. Warpath figure, but I don't have the old throwback, way back when 2-pack version of the X-Force Warpath that I believe came with Deadpool. I do not have that one. I don't know what that body was like, but I would imagine this is a better upgrade, but you guys would have to let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so looking at the X-Force team, so here we have the 2008 team. I don't yet have Archangel. He will be here this week, hopefully Wednesday at the earliest, maybe Thursday, just kind of depends on when it'll arrive. We don't have that particular version of Wolfsbane, but I'm hope that we're gonna get it. I would like to see an updated Wolverine too, because this one's got pins and it's not as good. So I would love to get an updated one because we got gray pins on those black legs, part of the inside of those legs. Just doesn't look nearly as good. So I would love to get new Wolverine, new Domino with double jointed elbows and all that good stuff, and then that particular version of Wolfsbane. I think it'd be awesome. Maybe that's a 3-pack to come. Maybe that's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive pack to come. I don't know. We shall see. But here are these particular X-Force characters together. Now let's see kind of the wider range of X-Force characters. Okay, so I threw everybody in there. We got X-Force Deadpool. We got Warpath. We got Phantom X. We got Deathlock. Jeez. Domino. We've got Wolverine. We've got Nightcrawler. We've got Psylocke. We've got X23. We need a new Psylocke. We need a new Domino. And I want a new Wolverine. Is that too much to ask for? Probably not. But they look great all together in their black and grays. Wolverine's gray is a little too light now. Deadpool's gray is a little bit too light now. Deathlock, kind of the same thing. Although Nightcrawler's new, but his gray is kind of light. I think Wolverine, in particular, to fit that 2008 comic run, would need a darker gray. So I hope we get that. It'll be awesome to be able to add in Archangel later this week. But I'm loving the way they all look together. Phantom X throws it off a little bit by only having black and white and no gray in there. Psylocke doesn't even have any gray. And Domino kind of has gray. She has more of that like gunmetal armor pieces like on her wrists and then her legs. But otherwise, they all look great together, for sure. Okay, so for some other side-by-side comparisons here, we have a better look at the two different versions of Warpath, the original X-Force version and then the 2008 X-Force version there. Two different figures that share some similar parts, like the grip hands are probably the same, and the fists are probably the same arms, same legs, but different torso. This one also has different boots and stuff like that. But there are our two Warpath figures that we have. And then, looking at comparisons with like X23. Let's throw those off to the side. Throw that one there because we get the colorful looks. And I think these came in the same wave, actually, right? Oh, I'm almost positive that Wolverine, X23 Wolverine, and that Warpath came in the same wave, right? I think it was the... was it the Wendigo Build-A-Figure? I think that's what it was. So there is our size comparisons and everything like that. So nice upgrades and updates to the figures, and I'm very pleased with them. Okay, so that is my review of the X-Force 2-pack of Warpath and X23. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this 2-pack? Is it one you're looking to pick up? I think when it was initially announced, people were really excited to be able to get a new X23 because it is an upgrade to what we had gotten previously. So you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of it? Are you looking to add this to your collection? I'll have links in the video description below to like Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I got mine. So they got an initial shipment. It's usually not too long until they get additional shipments. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time. So just a heads up on that. And again, I have Archangel coming later this week from Big Bad Toy Store as well. So always get those pre-orders in because you never know who's going to end up getting them first, and then when they'll be shipping out and whatnot. So just be on the lookout for there. These are fan channel exclusives, so no Amazon, unfortunately, with this with these X-Force figures. But you know, I guess that's the way it goes with fan channels. Just sometimes they go on Amazon, sometimes they don't. But give me your guys' thoughts down in the comments below on this 2-pack. I'm really loving it. Pinless would have been better for Warpath, but it is still a good figure. But you give me your guys' thoughts in the comments. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.